I'm back. How the heck are ya? It's good to see you again. I have returned from my sabbatical. It was vacation. I was gone for a couple weeks. And I come back to this smoke and the haze. It is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this Thursday, 17th day of September, 2020. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks to everybody who filled in for me. I know it's kind of when one person takes a little time off, vacation. We all need vacations now and again. It kind of throws everybody else's schedule up into the air. So Grant had to come in and do the show. Eric came in to do the show. Jefferson had to do the news in place of Grant. It kind of snowball effect there, domino effect. But we're all back to normal. It's good to see you again. We finally got some good news. The air quality is a little bit better now today. It's going to get even better. It looks pretty good that we're going to get some measurable rain. The first time in a long time we're going to have measurable rain. It looks like it anyway. Forecast is looking good for Friday night, and into Saturday, and boy, do we need it. It's going to clear out the air, going to tamper down those wildfires. Air quality is now unhealthy, which is better. It was unfit to breathe, period, just a few days ago. Might as well stick your face in a chimney. That's the kind of air quality we had, but it's getting better. We're going to show a little slide on that, plus, of course, you're complete with the forecast, but it looks like the relief is going to finally come our way in the next 72 hours or so. Can't wait to tell you that. A lot of news to get to, get you caught up on what's making headlines on this Thursday morning. The Mariners had a weird day yesterday. They had a home game in San Francisco because of the smoke in the Puget Sound area. We'll talk about that. Everything else that you need to get your day going. Now, I haven't done the cameras around the valley since the fires came in because I've been gone, so wish me luck here. That, of course, is the cross camera. But that gives you a pretty good idea. I mean, just a couple of days ago, you couldn't see anything except for that little bump at the bottom of your screen that's pretty close to the camera. Outside of that, the Wenatchee Valley was completely obscured by the smoke and those bad particles, but it's a little bit better, and it's going to get a little bit better. Again, we got the latest slide from the Washington State Department of Ecology to show you, but we still have the air quality alert that's going to go through noon tomorrow. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Camera number 2. I don't know. Megan gets to decide. We're looking across the Columbia. I'm going to just spitball and say Hose Landing. That's Stamen's Flats. Oh, okay. Still looking across the Columbia River towards the Douglas County side of the river at the Stamen Flats camera, right before you head on up into Chelan. Chelan, your air quality is also unhealthy this morning. Again, it's better because it was hazardous just a few days ago. Unhealthy is better than, who'd have thought we'd be happy to have unhealthy air quality, but we kind of are. Camera number 3. Hello, Leavenworth. Again, another example. We use this Tumwater Canyon camera. Is that Tumwater or is that that's the Tumwater. We used this camera just a few days ago and you couldn't see anything. I mean, it was just completely obscured by smoke, but it's better now. So it's still not good, but it's better now. Good morning, Leavenworth. And hey, that reminds me, they're going to be doing the free COVID-19 testing in Plain today. I'll talk about that when we get to the news. They decided they can do it today and tomorrow. We'll touch on that. Camera 4, where are we off to, Megan? That looks like it's the moon. Actually, it's Lake Wenatchee. I believe that's the camera at the very top of Lake Wenatchee. The Two Rivers camera, I believe, is what we call that, where the Little Wenatchee and the White River flow into Lake Wenatchee proper. When there's not enough light, that's how these cameras work. If there's not enough light, they switch automatically to monochrome so they can let in as much light so you can get some sort of detail. When it gets light enough, they switch over to color automatically. So everything is not black and white up at the Lake Wenatchee area. I wonder if it switches to sepia tone. Nah, I doubt it. Good morning, Lake Wenatchee. It's good to see you. 4 minutes after the hour. How's our air quality? Here is the slide from the Washington State Department of Ecology. We got red dots, if you can make them out, but that's good. Red is better than purple. Purple is the worst of the worst, and we were at that for a few days. It got a little bit better on Tuesday, a little bit better yesterday, better still today. Now we're still unhealthy in Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Chelan, and Quincy. Those are the dots that you can see there. They're still on the unhealthy range, but it's better than it was, and it's going to get better with the incoming weather system that's coming our way. There's going to be that low. It's been hanging around. It's going to finally push its way into the inland northwest on Friday. And there's even better news. They've backed off the idea of maybe a thunder threat. That thunderstorm threat is actually decreasing. So what we're going to get is probably just light rain, showers, if you will, And that's what we need. Now, if there is a pop-up thunderstorm, that wouldn't be good because, of course, where the burn scars are, there's no plants or anything to hold the soil in place, and it could go where it wants to go. But they're backing off the chance on thunderstorms. What we really need is a lot of rain. We're not going to get a lot of rain, but we're going to get some rain, some light rain, and that is what we need badly. Grant has touched on this before, but it bears repeating. The last time we had measurable rain, this is enough rain to measure at the rain gauge at Pangbourne Memorial Airport, this is where it's at, was on June 15th. And even then it wasn't much, 0.08 inches of rain. Now the summer solstice was Saturday, June 20th. So that was even before summer started. It was the last time we had measurable rain. The autumnal equinox is this Tuesday. So it looked like for a while there we could go the entire summer without any measurable rain at Pangbourne. As it is now, we got 94 days in a row without measurable rainfall at Pangbourne, but that's going to change, it looks like, on Friday. So there's your possible rainfall amounts. Again, not a lot, but we'll take what we can get. Because boy, do we need the rain. All right, Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug. Here we go, folks. Just take a look at Friday and go, yeah. Now, of course, it's going to be smoky today. It's going to be about 84. It was 79 yesterday, so a little bit warmer today. Because a little bit more of the sun's rays are going to make it all the way down to the earth because the air quality is improving. So we're expecting slightly improved conditions with the smoke today, and then it gets a little bit better. And as I mentioned before, this low that's off the coast is finally going to come in on Friday, basically late Friday. It's going to slowly push its way through. By Friday afternoon, we could get some light raindrops, not a lot, but enough. About a 40% chance of rain on Friday. Now the chance of rain, light rain, goes up to 50% on Friday night. It's going to start washing the smoke away. A little bit of light wind, not a lot, but a little bit of light wind. And so rain late Friday afternoon into Friday night, not heavy doses, just light sprinkles, but we'll take what we can get. That's going to spill into Saturday morning, we hope. And it looks like if the smoke clears out by Saturday night, we're in for a nice stretch of weather Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You know, if it wasn't for all this smoke that we've had, we would have had beautiful weather here for the last couple of weeks, but we haven't because the smoke has been hanging around. But we got good news. It looks like the end is in sight, even though we can't really see anything. The air quality is getting better. Where I grew up, you're not supposed to be able to see the air that you breathe. I remember they taught you that in school. Anyway, that's good news. The air quality is going to get better. We're going to get a little bit of light rain, badly needed light rain. Whew, looking forward to that. 8 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got your Thursday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here. Having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
9 minutes after the hour, it's smoky, it's hazy, 57 degrees. We'll be in the lower 80s today, just a couple of degrees warmer than it was yesterday. Air quality is improving slightly. It's going to get a little bit better today, better still on Friday. Light rain, badly needed light rain. There's a good possibility of it Friday afternoon, Friday night, and Saturday morning. Maybe we'll have some clear skies by the end of the weekend. Here are your headlines. The chief pest inspector for tree fruit in Chelan and Douglas counties is investigating a supply of apples brought to Central Washington by Governor Jay Inslee that contain apple maggot infestation. Now, Will Carpenter is the director of the Chelan-Douglas Horticultural Pest and Disease Board, and he asked the public yesterday for help tracking down those apples that Inslee brought from Thurston County on Saturday during his goodwill visit to Bridgeport and other points damaged by the wildfire. The governor now admits he brought fruit into our area from the state's apple maggot quarantine zone, which is in violation of agricultural rules.
I was notified by several community members up in Bridgeport that Governor Inslee came over from the west side and visited Bridgeport on Saturday and brought with him some apples. And so I was chasing those apples all day Monday and into Tuesday trying to locate them, which has been quite difficult to do. And people had referenced that Governor had visited someone in the nursing home up in Omak. And so I picked those up last night, late afternoon, and inspected them and was able to find apple maggot larvae inside of those. The apple maggot quarantine is in place to protect the growers in what's called the pest-free zone, which is designated by the state. So everything outside of these quarantine areas is called pest-free. And in order to ship fruit to different countries, export markets, there's all these rules that mitigate how you process that fruit if you're inside of an apple maggot zone. And so it's important for this rule that you be abided, because if you're bringing apple maggot into an apple maggot-free area, specifically Chelan, Douglas, Okanagan counties, other counties as well, that grow tree fruit, you're potentially putting that industry at risk, and closing some of those export markets.
Now, in a press statement late yesterday afternoon, the governor said, and I'm quoting now, "Last week, Trudy and I wanted to express comfort for the communities suffering from devastating fires. When I visited some of these areas, I took some apples we picked from our tree in Olympia. We regret this mistake. This is a good reminder of the importance of awareness around apple quarantine," end quote. He says the State Department of Agriculture is also working to recover the diseased fruit. Anybody with information about maggot-infested apples in their Chelan or Douglas County area, possibly brought by the governor or anybody else for that matter, should contact Will Carpenter and get a hold of Will at 667-6677. You can email him at the address that you see at the bottom of your screen. 4 more people in north central Washington have died from contracting COVID-19. 3 of those deaths were in Okanagan County. Okanagan County Public Health said all 3 people were in their 60s and had some type of chronic health issues. The number of new cases in Okanagan County has been on the decline, with no new positive tests reported on Tuesday. A Manuel woman in her 70s has become Grant County's 18th death attributed to COVID-19. The Grant County Health District said the woman had medical issues that put her at higher risk for the coronavirus. The county has seen an increase of COVID-19 cases in recent weeks, with 14 confirmed new cases reported on Tuesday. The Upper Valley woman who was struck and killed by a train on Wednesday near the Chumstick Highway has been identified. Carmen J. Twombly of Leavenworth was 27 years old. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say Twombly was apparently walking south on the Burlington Northern Santa Fe rail line that runs parallel to the highway when she was struck. At about 4:35 in the afternoon, she was pronounced dead at the scene. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris said the fatal accident remains under investigation. Eastmont Parks and Recreation began taking reservations on Tuesday. It's preparing to reopen the Eastmont Aquatic Center. For the time being, the pool will be open starting Monday for lap swims and water walking by reservation only. The cost is $7 an hour, or you can get a 10 punch pass for $60. The pool has been closed not only by COVID-19 restrictions, but also due to construction work. Earlier in the year, they remodeled the complex. Reservations can be made by calling 884-8015. There will be no access to locker rooms. There will be one restroom that will be open for restroom use only. The Parks District, of course, this year took over operation of the pool after almost 2 decades of management by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. A Wenatchee man is suspected of holding a woman against her will in an extended assault early on Sunday morning. Sean Eugene Everett, 35 years old, was arrested by Wenatchee police for allegedly choking and beating the woman and refusing to let her leave her apartment. She said the assault went on for about 3 hours until she was able to alert a neighbor. Everett also allegedly struck the woman's dog when it intruded. During the incident, police arrested him. The next day, he faces likely charges of assault, kidnapping, harassment, and animal cruelty. City of East Wenatchee will symbolically stand with Washington farm workers affected by COVID-19. The mayor of East Wenatchee, Jerry Lee Crawford, issued a proclamation this week expressing support for the agricultural laborers who've been disproportionately harmed by the disease while bringing in this year's harvest. Council member Sasha Slayman helped draft the proclamation, and she read it at the City Council meeting on Wednesday.
Despite their importance, farm workers have yet to receive proper safety measures during these uncertain times. In Washington State, there have been numerous deaths of farm workers due to lack of resources during the pandemic. And whereas farm workers across Washington State are dying from COVID-19 while providing their agricultural labor to our community and state, our community grieves with the families of those who have passed away or suffered due to COVID-19 or COVID-19 complications while serving our state as agricultural workers. And whereas our communities depend on farm workers and value the contributions and sacrifices they make to our valley and productive economy. As with any industry, farm workers should receive humane working conditions and proper safety equipment. Now, therefore, on behalf of Gerald Crawford, Mayor of East Wenatchee, do hereby ask our community to support farm workers' rights and advocate for emergency protections for all Washington farm workers, and to support policies that will curtail these preventable tragedies in Washington State.
The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority is once again accepting applications for emergency COVID-19 grants for small businesses. The grants are $5,000 each for businesses with 20 or fewer employees in Chelan and Douglas counties. The money can be used to assist with expenses related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The port has already distributed more than $2.2 million in federal, state, and local COVID-19 funding to more than 400 businesses in the area. Regional Port Board President Rory Turner says there is an additional $1.6 million available to local businesses. Most of the funds have come through a state coronavirus program that distributes money from the Federal CARES Act. Businesses can apply through the port's small business resource page on its website, cdrap.org. And one little item I touched on at the beginning of the program, Chelan-Douglas Health District sent out a press release late yesterday afternoon, actually early evening, and they say after reviewing the air quality, they've decided to go ahead with their plans to have free COVID testing in Plain both today and tomorrow. It'll be at the Station 93, the fire station there, right in the middle of Plain, and they're going to do it from 1 to 7 today and tomorrow. So they've had to cancel it for a couple of days because of the poor air quality, but the Chelan-Douglas Health District will do COVID testing for residents in the Plain area today and tomorrow at the fire station starting at 1 o'clock. I like it when I can give good news. And that's a look at what's making headlines at 18 minutes after the hour. Grant and Jefferson and Cal, I'm trying to remember what they look like. I've been gone for so long. They'll be putting the news together for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. With the preview, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Nice to see you, and welcome back. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, a Mattawa woman in her 70s has become Grant County's 18th death attributed to COVID-19. I'll have your once again smoky North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will be in with more on today's makeup game between the Mariners and the Giants. That and all the day's news headlines coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Hope to see you then. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Grant. It's good to be back. Is it me, or did Grant put on a few pounds while I was gone? Don't know. If you got a news tip, you want to drop us a line, look at the bottom of your screen. That's how you go about doing it. You can go to our Facebook page and use Facebook Messenger, and you want to give us a big one of them babies too. That would be kind of cool. We like that. You can go directly to our website, ncwlife.com. There's a contact us icon at the top of the screen, and you can also submit a news tip by going to our website, or you can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. Grant touched on it. Weird day yesterday for the Mariners. They had a home game in the city by the bay. Long story. We'll talk about that when we do sports. Just 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
These days, it can be hard to trust the media. What's true, what's fake, and who is behind the message? I'm a freelance journalist and videographer who has spent years studying the media, interviewing people, writing stories, and producing documentary videos. But I was born and raised in Eastern Washington and grew up working on farms and in the fields. Now I'm taking a look at what local, regional, and national news stories mean to us here in North Central Washington. Join me, Dominic Bonney, for Common Sense on NCW Life TV.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. Looking for great food that's also an experience? Come on out to Blueberry Hills in Manson. Open year-round and named one of the top 4 restaurants in the state worth the drive for breakfast by the Seattle Times. Serving down-home scratch country cooking with huge portions at family-friendly prices. Great food and a fun experience for the whole family, and definitely worth the drive. For more information, check our website at wildaboutberries.com.
Back out of it 21 minutes after the hour. Let's talk about sports. San Francisco lit up Seattle starter LeJay Newsome for 5 runs in 3 innings last night. Giants cruised from there 9-3 the final down in San Francisco. The game was moved to the Bay Area because the air quality in Seattle is just awful, but the Mariners did play as the home team, even though it was in San Francisco. The Giants planted a run in each of the first 2 innings before Brandon Belt's 2-run home run and Evan Longoria's solo shot in the third that chased Newsome. Manager Scott Service suggested the problem for the rookie right-hander was the lack of work in the last couple of weeks.
LJ tonight, I thought, LJ hasn't pitched a ton. I think he's had about an inning and a third over the last, 18, 19 days, but just really wasn't, sharp command-wise like he usually is. He left some off-speed pitches in the middle of the plate, and they jumped on him. I thought the other guys out of the bullpen, Swanee hadn't been out there in a while. He struggled as well, but Sadler did a really nice job, kind of settling the game down there. And, as we tried to work our tail off to get back in it. But, Smiley had good curveball tonight. I think he had 7 or 8 strikeouts. Majority of those were with the curveball. And, we ran some pitches up on him. We drew a lot of walks. We had some guys out there, but not enough to overcome their offense. So, long day, a lot of travel, but we'll get back at it tomorrow and try to figure these guys out.
Kyle Lewis had a couple of base hits for Seattle. The Mariners now have lost 2 games in a row. Their pitching staff has allowed 23 runs over the past 23 innings. Now, I'm no math expert, but that comes out to about a run an inning. They'll try and right the ship. They have a day game today in San Francisco. Nick Marvagofishis goes up against Tyler Anderson. First pitch, 1:10. Okay, to the American League West scoreboard, courtesy of our friends at Les Schwab. Oakland's magic number to clinch the AL West is now 5 after a 3-1 win over Colorado. Jake Lamb, who was claimed from Arizona last week after Matt Chapman went down with a season-ending injury. He had a couple of hits and an RBI. Lamb is now 5 for 11 with 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 RBIs in his first 3 games with the A's. Kyle Gibson pitched a complete game shutout for the Rangers. Texas topped Houston 1-0. Gibson threw 114 pitches with 9 strikeouts. He allowed just 4 hits. Texas's lone run came in the top of the 9th on Joey Gallo's ground rule double that scored Ladoy Traveris. And Cole Calhoun and David Petralte each homered in a 3-run 7th for Arizona. The Diamondbacks beat the Angels 9-6 in Los Angeles. On Sunday, the Seahawks will take on Cam Newton for the 9th time in his career, but the first time with a new team. Newton, of course, led the Patriots to an opening week win, 20-11, over the Jets. He rushed 15 times, 75 yards, completed 15 passes for 155 yards. Seattle coach Pete Carroll says you have to prepare for everything when you face Cam Newton.
Well, it's kind of a new era. You can see them. They've shifted their focus on how they ran their offense in the first game. I mean, they could do anything in the second game. I leave it wide open to Coach Belichick. But what we saw is a feature of the quarterback. Cam ran the ball 17 times in the game, and so we got to see what they do this time around. There's not enough games for us in their new thinking to know what to expect here. So we'll have to adapt at game time. But this is a terrific program and with great approach and philosophy. And you got to play really good to beat these guys. And so, we'll go see what we can do.
Now, historically, the Seahawks have played pretty good against Cam Newton. They've played him 9 times. They won 7 of those games. Defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. says no matter what happened or has happened in the past, you have to be ready for the kind of challenge that Cam Newton presents.
Right, like you said, he's very, very unique. He's been a really special player for a long time, and he gains special attention. And we've had a lot of games against him. We've played well. He's played well, so we're expecting a really good challenge. But we have to certainly be unique, just like he is.
Over the years, Bobby Wagner has sacked Newton once in 9 games. He also intercepted one of his passes. Wagner says with Cam joining a new team, you have to approach the game with a whole new approach.
Yeah, you definitely have to approach it with fresh eyes. We have a lot of history of playing Cam. We understand the type of runs that they want to implement with Cam. We also understand that the Patriots have a history of, they coming out and they can run the ball 42 times one game, and in the next game throw it 42 times. So, I feel like they're confident in Cam's ability to throw the ball as well. So we got to be prepared for everything, and we just have to make sure that we make them one-dimensional and don't let them come out and run and pass on us.
Cam Newton, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots in Seattle. Sunday Night Football kickoff on the National Broadcasting Company at 5:20. Finally, our schedule for the weekend. It's Thursday. You know what that means. It's hockey night. It always is. They got the Wenatchee Wild hosting West Kelowna tonight at 7 o'clock from the Town Toyota Center, the game from back in October of last year. Eastmont will take on the West Valley Rams in Big 9 football tomorrow night at 6:30. Spoiler alert, one of those two teams is going to win. And we're going to air the Cascade and Cashmere girls soccer game from that bitterly cold night in Cashmere last October. We'll have that for you Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then Saturday night at 6. We're going to re-air the Jerry Bershauer Memorial 100 from last weekend at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. On this Thursday, it's Constitution Day. That's the obscure holiday of the day today. Nothing obscure about our nation's instruction manual. It was one of the first things that the Founding Fathers decided that they needed to do. He said, we need to figure out, we need an instruction manual. We need to write down everything as far as the basic form of government in our brand new US of A country. And so they said, let's go ahead and write a constitution. And they went about doing that. It took a long time, but they did it. It's a remarkable piece of work. To me, it's much more important and much more remarkable than the Declaration of Independence. Nothing wrong with the Declaration of Independence, but it has no rule of law. The Constitution does. Every law in this country has to fall under the umbrella of the Constitution. And on September 17th, 1787, the Constitution was signed. By the summer of 1788, it had been ratified by the 13 colonies, and it went into effect for a lot of schools. They put aside some time today, I hope a considerable amount of time, to teach kids about the Constitution, how the government works, the separation of powers, the three branches of government, this, that, and the other thing, the amendments, whatever you want to do. The Constitution, happy birthday. What would we be without it? Got to have one of those, If you haven't sat down and read the Constitution for a while, you should do it. Pretty good read. Didn't take a very long time either. All right, let's go today in history. Happy birthday, Boston. That's the flag of Boston, Massachusetts, is formed on this day 390 years ago. Boston's pretty old. It was founded on September 17th, 1630. Never been to Boston? Being a Yankee fan, if I went to Boston, I'd probably be in trouble. I wouldn't wear the pinstripes. I'm not an idiot. Fun facts about Boston. Boston Common is the oldest public park in the United States. It was founded just 4 years after Boston itself was founded, and it's pretty much still there. Happy hours are against the law in Boston. In the city of Boston, you have to charge the same amount for alcoholic beverages regardless of the time of day. There you go. 15% of Boston's residents walk to work. That's the highest percentage of any major city in this country. And that famous statue in Harvard Yard, it ain't John Harvard. Nope. Some guy named Sherman Hoare, because nobody knew what John Harvard looked like. The guy who founded the university gave him all the money. They said, we should put a statue for this guy up there for doing such a cool thing. Nobody knows what the heck he looked like, so they got Shermy there to pose for it. It ain't John Harvard. I wonder if anybody from the Hoare family goes, look, that's a statue of Shermy. Happy birthday, Boston. Mentioned this already, we'll do it again. 233 years ago today, the Constitution is signed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Off to the States it goes, and we still got it 233 years later. This is the anniversary of the single bloodiest day in this country's history. The Battle of Antietam took place. It was a battle between Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army and George B. McClellan's Union Army. Boom, clash in one day, September 17th, 1862, 22,717 Americans were either killed, were wounded, or went missing. It's the single bloodiest day in United States history, the Battle of Antietam, September 17th, 1862. And finally, 59 years ago today, that building opened. There are 87 stadiums in the world that have retractable roofs. You can open and close it. Most of the time, they simply close it and don't even bother with it anymore. It's a colossal waste of money. But the very first retractable roof stadium, the famous Civic Arena, opened in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not surprisingly, because it was in Pittsburgh. It was made out of steel. There you go. They quit opening and closing the roof in 1995 because it turns out repairing the hydraulic jacks and the mechanisms and everything to actually make the roof open and close was just too much of a pain in the butt. So in 1995 they closed it, and they kept it permanently closed. The Pittsburgh Penguins moved out in June of 2010. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with it anymore, and finally 8 years ago they simply tore it down. But it's a pretty iconic structure. The very first retractable roof stadium opened on this date 59 years ago today. And finally, birthdays. John Rutledge is completely lost in history, but he has a unique claim to fame. He was the second Chief Justice of the United States. He was named as the new Chief Justice by President George Washington in August of 1795, but the Senate was not in session, so it was a recess appointment. This is in the Constitution, by the way. Not this particular story, but how they do that, which meant when the Senate reconvened, they had to vote on Chief Justice Rutledge, John Rutledge, and they rejected him by a vote of 10-14. He holds the record for the shortest tenure of any Chief Justice. It was also the first ever Supreme Court nominee to be rejected by the Senate, and he is the only recess appointment who was subsequently not confirmed by the Senate. Poor John Rutledge. What do they have against John? I don't know. I'll have to do a little more. Anyway, he was born in the state in 1739. The king of country music. Oh, Hank Williams. What would he have done if he hadn't just completely, with his brain all those years ago? Great singer, great songwriter, great guitarist. Hank Williams Sr., born in the state in 1923, died of just all kinds of different things at the age of 29 in 1953. Country Music Hall of Fame, the very first inductee was Hank Williams in 1961. The Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1970, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. The great Hank Williams, born 97 years ago today. David Souter, there he is, the 94th Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. He's retired now. He's out the door. He had a good run. He said about 20 years is about right. He's only 81. One of David Souter's favorite stories is after the Supreme Court had already did their summer recess and they were heading back home for the summer. David Souter was driving back to his farm in New Hampshire, and he was eating at a small roadside diner in New England, and somebody recognized him. They walked up to David Souter and they said, "Aren't you Stephen Breyer from the Supreme Court?" And David Souter said, "Yeah, I'm Stephen Breyer from the Supreme Court." And they said, "Well, what's your favorite part about working on the court, Justice Breyer?" And he said, "Working with David Souter. He's a really cool guy." David Souter is 81 years old today. Happy 75th birthday to Phil Jackson. To a lot of people, he is the greatest basketball coach ever. He won 2 NBA championships as a player, 6 NBA championships as a coach of the Chicago Bulls, 5 more as coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. That is the most all time, as you might imagine. Phil Jackson, the pride of Montana, 75 years old today. And Jimmy Johnson, the first and only NASCAR driver to win 5 consecutive Cup titles. He won 7 overall, which is tied most for all time with the King, Richard Petty, and the late Dale Earnhardt. Jimmy Johnson, 45 years old today. Drive fast, turn left. Going to take a break, and then Mike Magnotti's got an opinion, because he always does. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
If fishing is your dream, make your dream a reality with a smoker craft boat from Bombfile Boats and Motors. It's not just about catching fish, it's about making memories. See a smokercraft boat today at Bobfile Boats and Motors. They also have a great line of pontoon boats big enough for fishing for the whole family. Find Bobfile Boats and Motors online at bobfile.com or on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bobfile Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bobfile's gonna make you smile.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive. No nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care. The Meat Shop in Chelan has all the meats, homemade side dishes, sauces, and rubs you need for a summer feast. The Meat Shop opens 6 days a week to serve you in downtown Chelan.
More than a health food store, it's your good food store. Bear Foods and Cafe Creperie, a feast for the eyes and the palate.
For the Chelan Valley's most unique tasting experience, visit One Wines, a true boutique winery producing only one white, one rosé, and one red with a rare exceptional vintage. Limited to 800 cases per year. Visit One Wines today.
Wenatchee Powersports not only has a new owner, but an all-new attitude to match. Speaking of attitude, check out the 2021 models arriving now. Polaris snowmobiles, ATVs and side-by-sides. Yamaha motorcycles, watercraft ATVs and side-by-sides. KTM motorcycles and the latest edition Beta high-performance motorcycles. Coming this fall, a huge demo event featuring the latest and hottest off-road machines. It's all at the retuned Wenatchee Powersports, where maximum performance is a way of life. 3031 GS Center Road in North Wenatchee, open Tuesday through Saturday.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, over the past few years, I've heard increasing criticism of a company we know as Goodwill. Now, this criticism runs like this. Goodwill's paying nothing for the merchandise that they retail. They pay their employees a pittance and make tons of money in a despicable manner. Now, I can't believe this criticism of whoever this guy is. Whoever the guy is who came up with the idea about Goodwill, he came up with a very creative business plan, offers entry-level work experience to folks who might not get a job anywhere else, offers good prices for the stuff you need, and gives you and I the opportunity to get rid of your junk and get a tax write-off. And I kind of think the criticism of this guy is prompted more by jealousy than any justifiable social outrage. And by the way, the people I've spoken to who work for Goodwill, they like their jobs. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Nissan is the value leader in new cars and SUVs. Check out these new models starting at under $20,000. The all-new Versa from $17,020. The all-new Sentra from $17,400, and the all-new Kicks from $17,995. Now you can have the Nissan style, performance, and reliability, all for under $20,000.
And they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
As you can see, it's still hazy, it's still smoky in the Wenatchee Valley, but we have some good news. The air quality, well, it's unhealthy. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's good news, but it's not hazardous like it was for quite some time. The air is a little bit cleaner than it was yesterday and then the day before that, and we have some good news. It looks pretty good for some measurable rain, at least light rain, coming our way Friday night, and into Saturday morning, hopefully with a combination of the low front coming in, a little bit of light wind and a little bit of light rain might do the trick that we need to scour out our dirty skies. I'll give you complete weather forecast details one more time before we wrap it up at the top of the hour. But first, at 41 minutes after the hour, let's take another look at your headlines. The chief pest inspector for tree fruit in our area is investigating a supply of apples brought to Central Washington by Governor Jay Inslee that contained apple maggot infestation. Will Carpenter is the director of the Chelan Douglas Horticultural Pest and Disease Board, and he asked the public for help tracking down apples Inslee brought with him from Thurston County back on Saturday during his goodwill visit to Bridgeport and other points damaged by the wildfires. The governor now admits he brought fruit into our area from the state's apple maggot quarantine zone in violation of agricultural rules.
I was notified by several community members up in Bridgeport that Governor Inslee came over from the west side and visited Bridgeport on Saturday and brought with him some apples. And so I was chasing those apples all day Monday and into Tuesday trying to locate them, which has been quite difficult to do. And people had referenced that Governor had visited someone in the nursing home up in Omak. And so I picked those up last night, late afternoon, and inspected them and was able to find apple maggot larvae inside of those. The apple maggot quarantine is in place to protect the growers in what's called the pest-free zone, which is designated by the state. So everything outside of these quarantine areas is called pest-free. And in order to ship fruit to different countries, export markets, there's all these rules that mitigate how you process that fruit if you're inside of an apple maggot zone. And so it's important for this rule that you be abided, because if you're bringing apple maggot into an apple maggot free area, specifically Chelan, Douglas, Okanagan counties, other counties as well that grow tree fruit, you're potentially putting that industry at risk, and closing some of those export markets.
Now, in a press statement late yesterday afternoon, the governor said, and I'm quoting now, "Last week, Trudy and I wanted to express comfort for the communities suffering from devastating fires. When I visited some of these areas, I took some apples we picked from our tree in Olympia. We regret this mistake. This is a good reminder of the importance of awareness around apple quarantine." End quote. He says the State Department of Agriculture is also working to help recover the diseased fruit. Anybody with information about maggot-infested apples in Chelan or Douglas County brought by Inslee or anybody else should contact Will Carpenter at the number you see on your screen at 667-6677, or you can email Will Carpenter directly at the email address you see at the bottom of your screen. 4 more people in North Central Washington have died after contracting COVID-19. 3 of those deaths were in Okanagan County. Okanagan County Public Health said all 3 people in their 60s and had some type of chronic health issues. The number of new cases in Okanagan County has been on the decline, with no new positive tests reported on Tuesday. A Mattawa woman in her 70s, she became Grant County's 18th death attributed to COVID-19. The Grant County Health District said the woman had medical issues that put her at a higher risk from the coronavirus. The county has seen an increase in COVID-19 cases in recent weeks. 14 confirmed new cases in Grant County reported on Tuesday. The Upper Valley woman who was struck and killed by a train on Wednesday near the Chumpstick Highway has been identified Carmen J. Twombly of Leavenworth, 27 years old. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies said Twombly was apparently walking south on the Burlington Northern Santa Fe rail line that runs parallel to the highway when she was struck. About 4:35 in the afternoon, she was pronounced dead at the scene. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris said the fatal accident remains under investigation. Hey, Eastmont Parks and Recreation is taking reservations as it's preparing to reopen the Eastmont Aquatic Center. For the time being, the pool will be open starting next Monday for lap swim and water walking. Is by reservation only. The cost is $7 an hour, or you can get a 10-punch pass for $60. The pool has been closed not only because of COVID-19 restrictions, but also because they remodeled it earlier in the year. Reservations can be made by calling 884-8015, 884-8015. There will be no access to the locker rooms. There'll be one restroom open for restroom use only. The Parks District this year took over operation of the pool after almost 2 decades of management by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. A Wenatchee man is suspected of holding a woman against her will during an extended assault. This happened early on Sunday morning. Sean Eugene Everett, 35 years old, arrested by Wenatchee police for allegedly choking and beating the woman and refusing to let her leave her apartment. She said the assault went on for about 3 hours until she was able to alert a neighbor. Everett also allegedly struck the woman's dog when it intruded during the incident. Police arrested him the next day. He faces likely charges of assault, kidnapping, harassment, and animal cruelty. City of East Wenatchee will symbolically stand with Washington farm workers affected by COVID-19. Mayor Jerry Lee Crawford issued a proclamation expressing support for agricultural laborers who have been disproportionately harmed by the disease. While bringing in this year's harvest, Councilmember Sasha Slayman helped draft the proclamation, and she read it at Wednesday's City Council meeting.
Despite their importance, farm workers have yet to receive proper safety measures during these uncertain times. In Washington State, there have been numerous deaths of farm workers due to lack of resources during the pandemic. And whereas farm workers across Washington State are dying from COVID-19 while providing their agricultural labor to our community and state, our community grieves with the families of those who have passed away or suffered due to COVID-19 or COVID-19 complications while serving our state as agricultural workers. And whereas our communities depend on farm workers and value the contributions and sacrifices they make to our valley and productive economy. As with any industry, farm workers should receive humane working conditions and proper safety equipment. Now, therefore, on behalf of Jerry Lee Crawford, Mayor of East Wenatchee, do hereby ask our community to support farm workers' rights and advocate for emergency protections for all Washington farm workers, and to support policies that will curtail these preventable tragedies in Washington State.
The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority is once again accepting applications for emergency COVID-19 grants for small businesses. The grants are $5,000 each for businesses with 20 or fewer employees in Chelan or Douglas counties. The money can be used to assist with expenses related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The port has already distributed more than $2.2 million in federal, state, and local COVID-19 funding to more than 400 businesses in the area. Regional Port Board President Rory Turner says there's an additional $1.6 million available to local businesses. Most of the funds have come through a state coronavirus program that distributes money from the Federal CARES Act. Businesses can apply through the Port's Small Business Resource page on their website, cdrap.org. And finally, after having to postpone it a couple of days because of the poor air quality all over north central Washington, but specifically in the Plain area, the Chelan-Douglas Health District announced that they're going to go ahead and do the testing for COVID-19 today in Plain. They're going to do it today and tomorrow at the station, the fire station there, right on Beaver Valley Road, Station 93. The testing for COVID-19 is free, put on by the Chelan-Douglas Health District. It will happen in Plain after cancellations. It'll happen today and tomorrow, again at the fire station in Plain from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Good news there. We're going to take a break, about a 2-minute break, then we'll come back and we'll take another tour around the Wenatchee Valley, and we'll also get you that all-important, we hope, rainy weather forecast coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 7th year in a row.
Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Back at it at 52 minutes after the hour. Wake up in Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, back from my vacation. This was the longest vacation I've had. It was gone exactly 2 weeks. It was the longest vacation I've had since I started coming to work here. That was over 5 years ago. So it was good to be gone, but it's also good to be back. And the models and the trending is improving for the air quality. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But even by looking around the cameras around the valley, and we're going to go ahead and do that again right now, you can see it's gotten a little bit better because just a couple of days ago, we were using that camera, the cross camera. We use it all the time, and you couldn't see anything. I mean, it was just this gray blob of gunk. Things are looking better and better. Now, the air quality is unhealthy for everybody in north central Washington, which is still better than hazardous, which is what it was for a long time. Of course, the fires, what's going on here, of course, the fires that broke out over Labor Day weekend, first of all, they're getting smaller and smaller, and that helps. And the trend is going to be good for cleaning out more air because we're going to have a low pressure system off the coast. It's been sitting there forever. It's finally going to pay us a visit. Again, complete forecast details are coming up. Sun came up at 6:42. I didn't mention this. Sun came up at 6:42 this morning. Sun goes down at 7:07 tonight. 12 hours and 25 minutes of daylight. And of course, the autumnal equinox, the first day of autumn, next week, Tuesday the 22nd. So we're almost done with summer. Camera number 2. Let's see what I can make out today. It's the same cameras that we're using. So that's the Stamen Flats camera pointing across Chelan County over to the Douglas County side of the river. There's the highway up top. You can make it out there. Beautiful view there. And hopefully we're done with the fire season. Right before I went on vacation, I thought to myself, man, this has been a good year for fires because we haven't really had anything really big or major. We had, the fire up in the Jump Off Ridge area and a few other odds and ends. But outside of that, we kind of dodged a bullet. And then, of course, I take off for a couple weeks and I come back to wildfires. But anyway, good morning to our beautiful piece of real estate over there on the east side of the river. Camera number 3. Megan says, let's go back up to Leavenworth. And again, I mentioned this before. We used this camera just a few days ago, and you couldn't see anything. You could barely even make out the trees right in front of the camera. Now we can. Again, conditions are improving little by little by little. Wait till you get to the weather forecast. You're going to like that. Camera number 4. And we're back to Lake Wenatchee. Now this time that's a color photo, and you can see the sun. Look at that, sun reflecting on the lake and up in the sky as well. When we showed you this camera about an hour ago, it was in black and white, but now it's bright enough to show you the colors of beautiful Lake Wenatchee. Nobody has been able to escape the smoke. When I flew in from my vacation, I was gone for 11 days, and I spent a couple of days here in town before I got back here to the office today. Seattle was awful. At SeaTac, I've never seen it that bad. You couldn't see 100 feet. The air was simply unfit to breathe anywhere. It was bizarre. Seattle usually doesn't get that. We're used to it here, but not over there. It was strange indeed. Anyway, it's good to be back. One more break. When we come back, that all-important weather forecast, and I think you're going to like it. We need rain. We could be seeing some. That's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he was here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point.
It's a nice kokanee.
Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life channel.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
And we are back. Okay, first things first, air quality. I mentioned it before. That's the latest map that we took. You can see the red dots: Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Chelan, Quincy. The air is unhealthy. Sorry about that. It's unhealthy, but it's still better than what it was. We went through, 3.5, 4 days with the air quality at hazardous, which is just basically awful, as bad as you can get. We had some of the worst air on the planet for 3 or 4 days. It's getting better, and it's going to continue to get better. Slightly improving conditions with the smoke today compared to yesterday, compared to Tuesday. We're going to turn a corner, but we still have the air quality alert, and that goes through noon on Friday. Now, as far as the risk of showers, we got some good news there. We need some rain. What we don't need is thunderstorms. Well, now the National Weather Service says, yeah, we're going to have some instability, but the threat of thunderstorms is actually going down. And that's good, because we need light rain. We don't need thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are bad because thunderstorms bring lightning, and thunderstorms can bring flash floods. And of course, with burn scars, and there's a lot of them now in our area, that would be bad indeed. But it looks like we're just going to be, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley and most of North Central Washington, just going to be dealing with some light rain. Here's your forecast. Don't worry about today. Smoky, hazy, 84, blah, blah, blah. We're going to concentrate on Friday. Friday, once we get in the afternoon hours, we have about a 40% chance of light rain, and boy, do we need it. It's been a long, long time. That chance of light rain on Friday night goes up to 50%. On Saturday, we still have a chance of some light rain. We may even see some real-life sunbreaks on Saturday, and if all these computer models farm out the way we hope, by Sunday, we're back to sunshine. Boy, wouldn't that be nice. All right, that's it for us. Everybody have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.